Hey up guys, what's going on? Welcome back to York City. The results of that experiment are in, and the answer is, the formation is good, but not without its faults. I'll explain more in a second. So last we met was the 3-0 away win against Halifax, in which they did go down to 10 men beforehand, so at that point the results, this formation was still inconclusive of whether or not it was working or not, just because the goals that we've conceded with it have been a bit stupid, opposed to actually being general fault of the actual formation itself. However, we have conceded in every single game since. That being said, this is a 2-1. Was it a competitive game? Nope. You're thinking, okay, Port Vale, away from home. Was this one competitive? Nope. Actually missed a penalty in that one. Should have been 3. Bradford, 1-1. Okay, this, it's a draw. This was competitive, right? No. Oh, another draw away from home. Surely this one's competitive. Actually, slightly more so. Although their entire team basically got booked. And then finally, Notts County turned up and ruined everything. I'm going to show you the goals, well, two of the goals in this one because, And actually, they did have the better of the game. It was a deserved result for Notts County, who we seem to be incapable of beating now. They're top for a reason, but it is competitive up there. Then finally Wycombe 2-1 again. 2 goals very early on, actually, and then they got one back in the second half. It seems like we took our foot off the gas, to be honest. I just said the American version. Foot off the accelerator. But was it competitive? Was it heck? And actually, the goal they scored was their first shot on target. It took them 60 minutes, folks, and then they managed 6 in the last half an hour. Don't know what they were doing before that point, but 32 shots, 18 on target, 2-1. Their goalkeeper with 16 saves in that game, 7.1. It started again, folks. It started again. The anger I was feeling during the Atletico Madrid save, where all the goalkeepers of every team outside of that sort of top 6 or 7 or so were putting in 10 plus saves every single goddamn game, it started again. So, realistically, we should have scored far more goals than we have at this point, and that's even with me bobbing in chance creation and chance conversion in basically every week's training. I'm not sure what else I can actually do to get these goals in, but at the very least, the proof is sort of in the pudding in the fact we've only lost once since then, and that's Notts County, of course. And as I said, we'll watch 2 of these goals because I'm going to be honest, folks, they are stupid goals. Actually, that one, fine. But it's the Matt Redding goal and the own goal that I'm going to focus on. I'll show you all 3 of them just so I don't have to click on 2 different things. But you can see there, Boom's with a 6.0, and that might be a little bit part of it. His lack of consistency is fantastically rubbish. But here's our goal, where he runs it onto his own line, and, well, Matt Redding tackles it over the line. So, that's still a thing. Admittedly, it's benefited us for once. Yep, that goal's fine. We just still can't defend set pieces. And there comes goal number 3, the one that I really want to show you. Boom heads that one out straight to them, and Boom gets the blame for that. I'm just going to show you that last one again in slightly slower formation. See, Cullen whips this one to the back post, and, well, Romano tackles it into his own goal for no reason. Now, the game's put that down as Boom missing the ball, because it goes sort of through Boom before Romano tackles it into his own goal, and he gets the blame for it for some reason. I think he probably also got the blame for the fact that Alex Jones scored the first one from a corner as well. He was probably supposed to be marking him or he missed a header as it went over. One of the 2 things, I suspect. But, yeah, Boom's consistency is still an issue and very much one of the main things I'm going to be looking for in the summer transfer window is a consistent defender. And actually, we pretty much need a recruit in every single spot on that back line because most of the left-backs' contracts run out. I think it's only Boys that doesn't. Kinsella too, probably. And of course, we'll only have Clark at right back at that point as well, because I think both Dyer and Griffiths, both contracts run out too. Central defence, all 3 of them still exist. All 3 of them will still be there. Tavares, Boom, and Romano. Not sure about anyone else who can play there who hasn't featured at all, just because they've been here all season. All 3 of those, they've been able to interchange when one of them is unavailable. They've never had more than one out at the same time, pretty much. And Block can, of course, can still step in if necessary. I think he has done that actually when there has been 2 missing. So, yeah, the defence is going to be the main target for summer, but we're not quite there yet. We've got to face Bromley and Scunthorpe now. And I'm not changing anything with this formation, really, for the end of the season. Now, Boys has come back from fitness. Now, Boys has come back from injury and is only rated 2 stars. I don't know what's going on there, because he was the best of the three defenders before he got injured. And now they say Kinsella is the better one. I'm not sure. I don't know why these average ratings are all 6.75, because none of the other ones are putting that in. I don't know what they were doing beforehand, but Kinsella's on less than 6.6 on the last 5, and Ferguson even worse. So I'm not sure how they've managed those good ratings over the course of the season, considering they've been putting that in, week out. However, Boy, 6.8 since he's been back, and even though he's only 2-star according to this, and his stats do kind of reflect that actually, seems to perform the best. But otherwise, other than Smallwood being suspended for yellow cards, I think it is now just an accumulation of yellow cards, which means Block steps in. Otherwise, first choice, in my opinion, the more consistent Romano alongside Tavares in the middle, Boys and Clark on the outside, Smith in goal. One thing to note here, after the Halifax game, I switched both of these to ball-playing defenders, which I'm not massively comfortable with and not necessarily have the stats for, but at least in open play, they seem to be making less mistakes. There's less random headers to opponents. It seems like sticking on ball-playing defender at very least makes them think about what they're doing with the ball as it approaches them. Whereas before, of course, they would just hoof it. And it would inevitably end up in the opponent's possession. So, not sure if that's what's going on, but that's what I feel like what's going on now. So, Block in there, Nacelle and Williams in the double Mazzala, Redding and Litau, and Lopez up front, of course. Now, one thing to note in all this is that the wingers are getting in on the action a little bit more than they were before. I've noticed Redding's come in and he's scored a few. Litau's been scoring as well since then, and we've had a few winger-to-winger goals, which is something I've been begging for this system to actually get now, because the wingers have been largely ineffective up until this change of formation, actually. So I'm pleased to see that coming now, and even Williams and sort of Nacelle's had one, I think. They're getting in on the action a little bit more too. Williams has scored a direct free kick, by the way, folks. First one, as far as I'm concerned, first one of the save. So all sorts of things happening. A couple of other things, I think, in terms of a couple of other tweaks, I think, have occurred. I'm not sure the grand extent of them. I think I took Get Stuck In off. That was one thing I did. Apparently we lost to Bromley last time, so this is a good match to actually bring you. I don't remember losing to Bromley. I'm sure we did, though. If that's what the game says, get revenge, then I'm sure we have. Nacelle and Williams are actually a smidge tired going into this, but they are still our best midfielders. I'm not taking them out. But Clark starts here, Block out of the back. There was actually a moment where it said blocks at the bottom on the ticker tape while we're in the interim games. It amused me more than it should have. But they get the ball and they punt it forward to Henry. The reaction, the defence reactions thing is still a massive first goal of the season. Of course it is. I'm sorry. We're nearly at the end of the season. This cannot be happening still. 8 appearances, no goals. Yep, that makes sense. How is that still a thing? Why do teams just turn up and players who've never scored before over the course of the season just suddenly decide, oh, we'll score against these guys, shall we? Why is this a thing? Now, of course I just said this, I don't know what to say about that, because is that a genuine simulation of what the defender's doing, or is that a problem with the engine? Because what Romano does there is nothing short of madness. It just sort of goes, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? What? And Lopez smashes that post. He was offside, but blimey, the viciousness with that. Of course, it remains their only shot on target. We've only had 2, though, in fairness. Well, that's gone all the way through to their goalkeeper. He has picked it up, and a second person has joined the party over there. I think that's... No, Block can't be number 6, surely. Rankine, though, charging down that side. I was worried for a penalty. Nearly worse. This is not what I've seen from my team. How have they not reacted to me being disappointed in them? That has never happened before. Well, the follow-up has seemed to work. And you know what? Sorry. Both on attack. We're doing this. Because what I see in general with this formation is the 2 Mazzalas sort of occupy that space in the middle just behind the striker, which the inside forwards also sort of move into a little bit with the wing-backs going around behind them. And when it comes to attack mode, the position is so much better than I've seen so far this season. Now, Nacelle's going to punt that one straight into Lopez. Good save, admittedly, from the goalie on that one. But you just saw the short corner technique work again there, because it pulled the defender out of the way, which Lopez benefited from, and Litau gets the equaliser finally, as they've yet to do anything this half, have Bromley. Not a lot of chances all told, actually, in this game so far. Both teams scoring their only clear-cut one, seemingly. Now, see, they've missed a header. But Litau at that back post and sticking on them on inside forward, that's what they're doing better, is being there as the last man on crosses and situations like that for the rebound or just to get on the end of crosses. That's working a lot better. Tavares heads that one to blocks. That's what I mean, though. When they're on central defenders, he would have just smashed that. This time, he's actually headed to someone on his own team. Now, they've got the ball back eventually, but there's a little bit better brain work in terms of how to get rid of that ball in the first place. And that's what I've been seeing a little bit more. Obviously, the goal they just scored kind of goes against what I've been saying a little bit, but 10 minutes to go, I've not made any changes. Matt Redding's not the best game from him so far. Or Lopez, actually. I mean, he's on a 6.7. Could be better. I'm going to stick Thor in for Williams, who's on a 6.6. And boy's actually a left-back, not having his best game either. After I've pointed out he was doing better than anyone else. Probably will change that left-back there as well. Although he's immediately up to a 6.6 after those changes for some reason. Change him off for the last few. Give him a good shout. And Bromley have had one shot in this second half. There is a highlight at the very, very end. It's not been the most creative of the games. Oh, why did I say they've had one shot in the half? Look what's happening now. Obviously this was going to happen. Why did I open my mouth? Nope, never mind. We've got the ball back. Marcel, Bennett is nice and free of his last man. Now, Lopez isn't in the best position here to capitalise on anything. Not that anyone would have passed to him anyway, of course, because that's how this game engine works. That being said, one of the goals we conceded did actually pass it to his man in the box rather than shooting himself, which threw me off more than anything else. It ends up being 1-1. It wasn't the best game of football, but by the end of that game, I kind of have to say it's unfortunate we possibly didn't win it. So to say, I'm disappointed. No, I just calmly said it. I didn't change any mentality of that one. I do lie. I do apologise. Also now, just in terms of the table, the players at the top have actually all shifted around a little bit. Salford have managed to capitalise on the games in hand they did have, so they're in fourth now, which has punted us out of it. In general, we were always a little bit adrift of the team directly ahead of us, but now Salford have won those extra games. They've gone miles clear, while we've been drawing and basically every game, they've capitalised on that as well. No one else behind us has capitalised on that, but everything basically is as it was, just with Salford climbing through us. And it's super tight for everything, really. I mean, Coventry 3 points off the top, Salford and Wimbledon only 4 points off, and these guys only 1 point further back. Everything up here in terms of position is super tight. We're 5 points off. I don't think we're going to capitalise on that unless one of these three decide to be completely rubbish for the remainder of this season. Our goal difference does bode well for basically when I said Plymouth, and if Plymouth are losing games and then we're winning, that three gap, those 3 goals will just disappear anyway. So yeah, if we win games and they don't, then we will leapfrog any of them, but I'm not super confident any of those are going to slip up now. Of course, we're not going to see any of that before the last episode of this season. York will be without 3 of their players in the forthcoming League 2 match against Plymouth due to them being on international duty. Tavares, Thor. That's 2. I know my basic maths, Football Manager, and 1 + 1 is 2. Please postpone it though, because Tavares is necessary. Doesn't affect this episode, so it doesn't matter. So against Scunthorpe, Smallwood is still suspended. It was 2 match for picking up, I think it's like 10 or something, isn't it? Yellow cards. So Block remains where he is. Williams is a little bit more tired than I would typically like, but his natural replacement, Thor, is still only on 45. Villiers not a great Mazzala, so I'm sort of leaving him be for the time being. So I'm going to have to just persist with a sub 90% overall condition Daniel Williams for the time being. It's better than any other option we've got. With that in mind, just get on with the game. Very motivated team talk, which I appreciate, whether or not we can put that motivation onto the pitch. Stevenage have recovered a little bit from what was looking to be a bit of a slide as well. They're back up to 9th, I notice, right on our heels. Not that there's really any difference between 8th and 9th in this division. Reading, Lopez, 33 goals. 33 goals. Actually, it's been a few games, but when you score 32 up to that point, there's a certain amount of forgiveness on that front. Reading, Lopez, left foot as well. There's an immediate highlight, but nope, we'll see. I wanted to check how good Lopez's left foot was, and within the first 6 minutes, we've had 3 shots on target. So, at the very least at home, this formation is working sensationally well. Lee Towell, though, punts it over to Reading on the other side, who is way free of his person who should have really been marking him. And he should have really scored. as apparently we've only had one half chance, and that was it. I'd say the goal was slightly more than a half chance. He has a reasonable left foot. So not brilliant, but reasonable. And 14 minutes gone. We have a throw-in. Couldn't see where the ball was for a second. Lopez goes past number 16 quite nicely there. Was that the highlight? It was. Questioning the highlight engine right now. Boys has won a free kick, seemingly, on this near side. Plays it safe to block, actually. Lopez is through. May have been offside. He's at the post. He was offside. But I'm seeing the mentality to get in the box. Now, Scunthorpe have had one shot full stop. So inevitably they're going to score the first chance we see them have, I suspect, at some point during this match. Because that's the way it goes. And here we are. Bootroid. Olomola. Can't be that guy. Papaguay. That makes more sense. Clark. Lital is looking to get on the end of that. He won't do, but Block is there to collect this clearance. Lital will get on that one, though. He will get to that one first. He's gone a little bit too close to the byline. He's forced to go back inwards, and that does not get intercepted. I was about to say it was. Clark. No. Clark. Lital. Lopez is there, and nice move in the end, but was asking quite a lot of Lopez. Admittedly, he does tend to answer those, though. Here's a corner for them, so here's 1-1, probably. No, Romano clears. Back to them. Is Scunthorpe's away kick really green and orange? Because as much as I like those two... What did I say, folks? What did I say? Scunthorpe have had one shot full stop, so inevitably they're going to score the first chance we see them have, I suspect, at some point during this match. They've been nowhere in this game. It's not even really orange, the second colour. It's just green. What did I say? Why does this game hate me? Look at that. I don't know what to say because we've played brilliantly and then they've scored their only bloody chance. Do I say I'm not happy because they're not winning? And they should be at this point, considering the chances we've made, clearly. Well, I chose the wrong one, but I'm going to say I've got belief in them and that has motivated them at the very least. What do I have to do to actually put those shots on target in that goal? As eventually we do get keep the possession there somehow. Boys, not quite. Block. Estelle's in the middle, sort of in space to have a crack, but not going to take it. This is probably going to move all the way out to this side instead. Clark, who is slightly better at the old forward play. Lital has the softest shot I've ever seen on Football Manager. The speed in which that strolled into the goalkeeper's arms was perceptible, which is the problem. No one playing badly, despite it being a 1-1, which says a lot about the way this game is going. No one lower than a 6.6 in a draw. Obviously means we're playing well. We've just got players a little bit tired. Oh, that's just suddenly tipped down to... What happened there? Williams is the best player, but he's also the most tired. I'm going to bring Gonsalves on the right-hand side because he can do that quite nicely. And, well, if he says it's 6.4, I'll have questions afterwards in the press conference. Your first time seeing Gonsalves, actually. Gonsalves? Hard to say, because he was injured in last episode. So, yeah, you've not really seen him yet. Thor, Romano, good ball through to Reading if he can get on the end of it. I don't think he was offside either. Now, the defenders have recovered quite nicely. However, he does put it wide. And this is still a draw. 20... Right, third choice, third chance, third change. That's the term. Matt Reading on the left looking not the best. Obviously, Nasel's a bit tired too, but we'll give Bennett an opportunity on that left-hand side. A few tired legs out there, but I need the attackers on. Oh, for crying out loud. Some reaction to my shout would be nice. No? Okay, we're just going to see this one out as a 1-1. Tell the boys they did well. Nope, they did not. I'm fed up with drawing. And I like art. You can have a rest when he actually does something. Right, you've seen both the positive and the negatives of what's going on since then. We're dominating games, we're just not scoring. And I don't know how to fix that. Because I can't make this any more attacking if I tried. We're getting the chances, they're just not being converted. I know I'm looking down here, I'm just staring at those 1-1s. Not these ones, these ones. I'm fed up with them scoring the only bloody chance they get. It's getting genuinely ridiculous. And despite the fact he went off on 6.4, Lital says 6.5 here, I don't know what's going on. Well, I think that basically seals it, doesn't it? So, actually, we're still only 4 points behind Plymouth in 7th, but now we have Stevenage as a buffer. 5 points clear of 10th place, though, so I think we're probably safe on that front. How are we doing on the old preview these days? Still 16th, though, so I mean, admittedly, Notts County are the team directly above us, but I mean, you look at that. You look at the fact that we are 16th predicted, and what we're doing is above our station, and it doesn't feel that bad anymore. Yeah, so we're supposed to be down here. It's Wickham, really. Wickham and Bristol are both tipped to be near the top. They're not doing so. Yeah, Notts County being one place directly above us, though, in that old prediction list, is slightly out of whack, isn't it? But there's only 10 points between the two. If we could stop bloody drawing and win those games, we'd be up there. If we'd won all 4 of those draws you've seen on that list there, that would be 8 more points, and we'd be on 70, and we'd be third. If we could have won all 4 of these games as we deserve to, then that would be 70 points, and we'd be third. So, it's both fine and not fine at the same time. Well, depending on what happens in these 3 games here, will define whether or not we do a 3-game bumper special at the end or just a 2. If we end up being so far off the promotion spots, the playoff spots, that the commentary game doesn't matter, then you won't see that one. But if the commentary game may factor into the end of the season, then we will see that one, because they are 4th. They're up there. Northampton and Mansfield are behind us as things stand. Northampton are on a bit of a rise, though, so we'll see where that goes over these next 3 games at the very least. And then you might end up with a 3-game bumper special. So there's something to be wondering about in the meantime. Until then, ta-ra.